Not only is California dealing with this summer's surge in the coronavirus, but now it's dealing with wildfires, which have been made worse by the pandemic. Typically, there are volunteers that clear undergrowth and brush every spring. But this year they were forced to stay home because of the pandemic. Prison work crews have been affected as well. Firefighters have been affected too, with shortages due to some firefighters being infected and others in quarantine. "The pandemic has hugely impeded us here," said Representative Jared Huffman, DCA. His district in coastal Northern California has been hit by the wildfires and smoke. "I know of a number of vegetation management projects that just couldn't happen this spring because volunteers and others couldn't gather, and add to that the fact that California lost its prison crews. We're fighting these fires with one hand tied behind our back," he added. The wildfires in California, Oregon, and Washington have killed at least 26 people, burned millions of acres, and destroyed countless structures. 6 of this year's fires rank within the top 20 in California's history, comparing acreage that has burned. "We are experiencing an unprecedented confluence of issues this year that we did not experience last year," said Governor Gavin Newsom, earlier this year, pointing to extreme temperatures and storms that have followed many years of drought. "Yes, I conclude climate change profoundly has impacted the reality that we're experiencing," he added, also saying it's the weirdest weather I've ever seen. Additionally, the tight prison system in California prompted the release of thousands to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. 3,700 prisoners in the state had been relied on to clean brush and battle fires. Newsom said earlier this summer that inmate crews had been reduced from 192 to 94. A dozen inmate firefighting camps were locked down because of fears of an outbreak. "It's a big hit because we utilize those inmate crews to come in and put containment line around the fire after we knock it down," said the president of CAL FIRE Local 2881, Tim Edwards. "Now we're using our own engine companies to contain fires that could be used to do attacks on other fires. It's spread us even thinner." Newsom issued mutual aid requests throughout the world. Firefighting crews from Utah, Texas, Alaska, Canada, and Israel have been sent to help. State lawmakers passed legislation this week to allow former inmates to apply for permanent positions as firefighters after they're released from the prison system. Newsom promptly signed it into law. Tax revenue dried up in the state because of the pandemic. Newsom had asked for funding for 553 additional firefighters back in January but only received funding for a fraction of that. The governor has used emergency powers to hire about 800 seasonal firefighters, but the funding for that will expire soon, said Edwards. There are those who point the blame more on structural problems instead of the health crisis. Republicans believe California needs to improve forest management, including clearing brush, thinning forests, and maintaining corridors near areas where fires could start.